This documentary examines publicly reported cases of financial fraud in green energy investments. All content is based on evidence, reporting, and verified sources. No graphic content is shown, and theories are clearly labeled. Viewer discretion is advised. Imagine logging into your investment account, the one you trusted to build your future and help the planet. You stare at the screen, but the number is wrong. It's zero. Your life savings, meant to fund solar farms and renewable projects, have vanished. Billions of dollars, promised to power a cleaner world, allegedly diverted into a maze of offshore accounts and luxury assets. This is the story of the green energy scandal, a modern-day heist where ambition, corruption, and insatiable greed collided. This is where the promise of a better tomorrow was sold for personal profit today. At the center of this scandal was a network of powerful figures, often referred to in media reports as the architects. These were not your typical small-time crooks. They were elite consultants, charismatic entrepreneurs, and seasoned wealth managers who had mastered the art of perception. They built an empire on an image of legitimacy, crafting a narrative that was almost impossible to resist. The story they sold was simple: invest with us, and you'll not only secure your financial future, but also help save the planet. They launched a series of green tech startups, each one shinier and more promising than the last. These companies were supposedly backed by high-level government officials and even sovereign wealth funds, which added an almost unshakable layer of credibility. Investors saw names they recognized, logos they trusted, and a mission they believed in. They were investing in more than just a company. They were investing in a movement. But the reality, as investigators would later discover, was far different. The companies they promoted existed mostly on paper. They had impressive websites, glossy brochures filled with stock images of sprawling solar farms, and social media feeds buzzing with positive news. Internal documents suggested groundbreaking work on solar panel efficiency and revolutionary wind turbine designs. But when auditors finally gained access, they found minimal operations, empty warehouses, and technology that was either outdated or non-existent. The entire operation was a carefully constructed mirage. The architects were masters of branding. They understood that in the modern age, a powerful narrative can be more valuable than a physical product. They leveraged social media, paying influencers to promote their vision. They hosted lavish conferences, inviting respected environmental scientists to speak, lending their credibility to the venture. They created a brand that screamed trustworthiness, sustainability, and innovation. People weren't just buying stocks. They were buying into a story, a promise of doing well for themselves while doing good for the world. It was this powerful emotional hook that made the scam so effective and so devastating. They weren't just stealing money. They were stealing hope. As whispers of irregularities turned into formal complaints, investigators began the monumental task of unraveling the complex web the architects had woven. The first and most critical step was to follow the money, and what they found was staggering. Billions of dollars had flowed into the green tech ventures from a variety of sources, including sovereign wealth funds, large institutional investors, and even taxpayer-backed government grants intended to spur renewable energy innovation. This wasn't just private money. Public funds were at stake. The trail was intentionally convoluted. Once the money entered the company's accounts, it didn't stay there for long. It was immediately funneled through a labyrinth of offshore shell companies registered in jurisdictions known for their financial secrecy. These entities had no real business purpose. Their sole function was to mask the final destination of the funds. Tracing the transfers was like navigating a hall of mirrors. Each transaction led to another shell company, another anonymous account. But slowly, a pattern began to emerge. The money trail consistently led to luxury assets. Investigators discovered that millions were used to purchase high-end properties in London and Dubai. A fleet of luxury yachts docked in the Mediterranean, and a collection of rare high-end artwork. The funds meant for solar panels were instead decorating lavish mansions. While financial analysts chased the money, digital forensics experts were hunting for digital breadcrumbs. The architects were sophisticated. using encrypted communication channels and private servers to coordinate their activities. But no one is perfect. A single mistake, a moment of carelessness, left a trail. IP addresses from seemingly secure communications were eventually linked back to private residences and offices belonging to key suspects. Deleted emails, recovered from server backups, contained fragments of conversations that hinted at the coordination of large-scale money transfers. Blockchain transactions, initially thought to be anonymous, were meticulously analyzed by linking wallet addresses to purchases on regulated exchanges. Investigators could begin to put names to the anonymous figures moving millions in cryptocurrency. Ledger files, hidden deep within corporate networks, provided a shadow accounting system, detailing the real flow of money, a stark contrast to the doctored books presented to investors and auditors. Simultaneously, teams on the ground were investigating the physical operations of the so-called green tech firms. What they found confirmed the digital evidence. Many of the companies had no actual employees, just a handful of names on a payroll who couldn't describe what the company did. The prestigious office addresses listed on their websites turned out to be virtual offices or mail forwarding services. Audit reports, which had previously given the companies a clean bill of health, were re-examined and found to contain glaring contradictions. Claims of revenue didn't match bank statements, and reported operational assets simply did not exist. Every step of the investigation raised more questions than answers. How did such a sophisticated network of high-level individuals operate for so long without raising red flags? How did they bypass the scrutiny of banks, auditors, and government regulators? And the most pressing question of all, how much of the billions could ever be recovered? The investigation is a global and ongoing effort. The fallout from the green energy scandal has been immense, sending shockwaves through financial markets and political circles. As for the architects, the net is tightening, but it's a slow and arduous process. Some of the key figures are now under intense legal scrutiny in multiple countries, facing charges ranging from fraud to money laundering. International cooperation between law enforcement agencies has been crucial, leading to the freezing of a significant portion of the identified offshore accounts. Authorities have successfully seized some of the luxury assets, the yachts, the properties, the artwork, but this represents only a fraction of the total amount stolen. Whistleblowers and inside sources warn that a substantial portion of the money, perhaps billions, may be permanently lost, hidden away in jurisdictions that refuse to cooperate, or moved into untraceable assets. The search continues, but the odds of a full recovery diminish with each passing day. The true cost of this scandal, however, goes far beyond the financial losses. It has shaken public trust in the entire green energy sector. Legitimate companies working on vital renewable energy projects now face increased skepticism from investors and the public. The scandal has also exposed critical weaknesses in government oversight and financial regulation. How could taxpayer-backed grants be handed out with such little due diligence? In response, regulators around the world are scrambling to tighten the rules, implementing stricter verification processes for green investments and enhancing cross-border information sharing. But even as these changes are made, this case stands as a stark and chilling warning. It shows how the noble and urgent promise of saving our planet can be cynically hijacked and exploited for personal profit. It proves that in the pursuit of wealth, some individuals will stop at nothing, even if it means sabotaging the future they claim to be building. And it reminds us that sometimes, the cost of greed is truly unimaginable. This is Criminal Verse, where every crime hides a story.